What's up, guys? Welcome back to Double J Outdoors. In this video, what we're going to be doing is creating a new video series called Fish and Tell. What this is going to consist of is having friends and family tell a tale of their fish story. This could be anywhere from lake fishing to ocean fishing, stream fishing. Again, it's going to be a series, and I'm going to try to have one every week that I'm posting. So stay tuned, guys. We got lots of good stories coming up.
So we're here just enjoying the evening. Obviously got done fishing for the day and stuff like that. We're doing the fish and tail, and I decided to share my part of the story. I haven't been doing this for too long. As y'all know, I'm learning a little bit, and one of the best experiences I would say I had was one of the days that I went out to a marina, and I limited out on my crappie within the first hour or so, something that had never happened. But when I tell you that every time I pulled the fish out, unhooked it, literally measured him, obviously, made sure he was of a limit to keep. I threw my bait in, and as soon as I dropped it right to that exact depth that I caught that previous fish, just the next one immediately, and I felt like it literally had felt like it was on a movie, a show or something, where man, I really did feel like I was one of the luckiest guys. Everybody, all eyes on me. One of those moments where it's just you're in the moment with adrenaline going, catching all these fish, and everybody's wondering what your secret is, what color you got, what kind of size jig head you have, and stuff like that. But that had been one of my best experiences, was limiting out within an hour and a half or so of 25 crappie.
So my fish and tell story is going to be one of the times during one of our Thanksgiving visits at one of my family's lake house events. I wasn't a huge bass fisherman, wasn't big into it, and this is the event that kicked off my interest in bass. So it was probably 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. You know, we're talking on November, and at this point it's mild weather. I took one of my family members' fishing poles, and I don't remember the jig that I used. It may have been a spinner bait. It may have been a jig. I don't really remember. There was a fence post in the ground. I put it right next to that. Next thing I know, I'm fighting for my life, and it was such a cool experience to reel this thing in. We never got an official weight, but I want to say it was maybe 3.5, maybe 4 pounds. It could have been more, but I'm going to be really lenient with the weight. Ever since then, every single Thanksgiving I go to at this family's house, they're like, "Hey, you remember that bass you caught that Thanksgiving? That thing was huge. Can you do that again?" But that was more or less what kicked off my bass fishing experience.
I am Amy, and I want to share my fish tale. About 10 years ago, traveled to Alaska, did a lot of different types of fishing. I was on the Russian River and caught some seaweed. Went halibut fishing, it was amazing. Went on the Kenai River in a boat backwards to catch salmon, nada. And my mother and I took a fly out to a remote island, which was a grizzly bear refuge, probably about 30 feet from them, but the fishing that I experienced there was getting out of a boat into a canoe. And in the canoe, there were about 6 of us, and we wandered around the boat in circles walking. The boat was very still, and we ended up catching sockeye. It was the most ridiculous fishing, and we caught more sockeye than I couldn't even tell you. And I never ate any. That was my fish tale.
Okay, I'm going to talk about a trip that I took to Zihuatanejo, Mexico. It's been about 20 years ago when I caught my first deep sea fish. So I went out on this little wannabe fishing boat with a motor in the ocean with 4 men. Never done this before in my life. I don't even think there were life jackets in the boat. And we went out and threw the poles out, and we were waiting, and all of a sudden mine got hit first, and I caught a huge mai. Well, the captain of the boat was so excited about bringing this beautiful fishing. I finally got that in, and then I was ready to keep fishing because actually we had gone out for swordfish. So we went out a little bit longer, and I was all pumped up about it, and got the big old bait onto my hook, and lo and behold, it wasn't 15 minutes, and I had snagged a huge swordfish, which took me 45 minutes to get in. It was unbelievable. It was the most exciting time of my life. And we brought it in, brought the mai mai in. We took it to the restaurant. They filleted it and cooked it for everybody, and it was wonderful. And being my first time out and getting a swordfish that was as big as it was, I definitely had it stuffed.